My name is Harold Enger from SpringGreen Lawn Care, and I'm here today to talk to you about a process called Core Aeration. Now, the key to a great lawn is a great root system, but in order to get that great root system, sometimes you have to battle a couple of things. The one thing is compacted clay soil, found in most home lawns, and the other thing is a buildup of a material called thatch. Thatch is an intermingling layer of roots, rhizomes, grass blades, leaves, so forth, that have built up over the years on the soil surface. Now, this thatch can really affect the growth of the lawn because it acts like a sponge, absorbs a lot of the water and nutrients that you apply to your lawn. If you put a sponge on a sidewalk on a hot day, you know what's going to happen. It's going to dry out. So what we want to do is try to eliminate that thatch in a way that is going to help the lawn. Now, the process I described is called Core Aeration. Let's take a look at the process being done by our friend Brian. As we can see, Brian's going across the lawn with a machine called a Core Aerator, taking out plugs of soil and thatch and leave them remaining back on the ground. Now what this does is it opens up the lawn. Now you're going to get more air, water, nutrients to penetrate into that soil surface, and therefore you're going to get a better root system. Now the plugs are left back on top of the lawn because it's the microorganisms in the soil that help to break down that thatch layer and make the lawn look a lot better in the long run. It's a bit of a process, but the lawn will improve as you core aerate it. All right, let's talk a little bit about this machine called a Core Aerator. As you can see, these are the tines that will be going across the lawn. And these will penetrate into the soil and take out plugs of soil and thatch and leave them back on top of the ground. This will open up the lawn, allowing for more air, water, nutrients to penetrate into that soil surface. Therefore, there's places for the roots to grow. If you come back out here in about 2 weeks and take a look at some of those holes, you will actually see little roots growing down into that hole of that core aeration made. It's really a neat process because it really helps the lawn improve. And as I mentioned before, the microorganisms in the soil are what's going to break down. It's what's going to break down that thatch layer that's here. Now, what's the best time of year to aerate? Well, that all depends on where you are in the country. In the upper northern turfgrass areas like the Midwest, you can do it in the spring or in the fall. When we get farther south in the transition zone, it's more of a fall only time of year. Or if we get to the south, actually in the south you want to do your aeration in the early summer because that's when your roots or your grass is growing the best, is in early summer. So it all depends on where you are throughout the country. After you've finished aeration, it's also a really good time to do one other process. And that process would be to overseed, because now you have some place for that seed to germinate. A lot of it will actually fall into those holes, and as it receives water or rain, it will start to germinate within those holes. Most of our seeding is done in the fall in the northern and transition areas. In some of the northern areas, occasionally you can do some seeding in the spring in shady lawns, but for the most part, we want to do most of our seeding in the fall. Those of you with the southern turf grasses, you don't do a lot of seeding, but your grasses grow so aggressively that they'll generally fill in bare areas on its own. So seeding is not as important for you folks who are down in the south with your Bermuda and centipede grasses. But overall, one of the best processes you can do to your lawn is to core aerate it. It's one reason why golf courses do it at least once a year. So follow what they do, aerate your lawn at least once a year. Thank you.